Who are the Jinn? The Sunnis claim the Jinn are a class of men, but definitely not angels. This is again a sorry story of 1400-year-old backward thinking. Let's employ a little logic here. That is, if you are capable of rational thinking, which only the steadfast observers of Salats are. When thy Lord said to the angels, stop, stop right there. It doesn't say Allah. It says, quote, thy Lord, end quote. This is Yaqub talking. Yaqub commanded the angels to submit to Adam, but Iblis refused. Firstly, the command was addressed to the angels. So how could Iblis be held accountable of violating a command that wasn't directed to him if he was not an angel? Further, the Sunnis would have you believe that Iblis is a class/category of man, but it is clear that he existed before man, as he himself states, quote, that he was created before of intense fire, while Adam, the man, was created of dust, end quote. So Iblis could not be the same creation as Adam. It is clear that he is an angel, though the backward thinking Sunni be averse. Before Adam, there were only the angels. Allah, the supreme angel. The angels are the original people. Then with the creation of Adam, there is the mortal Adam and the immortal Melchizedek, or the angels. The original being self-created himself under extreme intense pressure. Intense pressure is intense temperature or intense fire. This is what Iblis revealed. Yet Iblis was told he was not made to witness his own creation. So what have we here? Iblis is an original man, angel, but he didn't witness his own creation. The nature of Iblis, a jinn, is clear. He resists change. He was satisfied with his creation and with the creation in general. Iblis didn't want any change. Iblis openly professed his resistance to any change in or to his creation. And this is the mystery of the jinn revealed. The jinn are the status quo who resist change. They are a class of angels, not a separate creation. The jinn did not witness their own creation because the original being who self-created himself was alone by himself. The first created being did not resist his own creation. The only resistance was the darkness that the original being went to war with. As we unfold the creation, we transform ourselves in the process. All life came from us. At each stage of the unfolding, we separated an ever more complex attribute of ourselves from ourselves, giving it a sense of independence and self-determination. With each new creation, we are also transformed as we have separated an aspect of ourselves from ourselves, personifying it, giving it distinction. In the process of the personification of former attributes, we disable those attributes in ourselves, transforming ourselves. For example, the female has functional breasts, which the male still possesses, but are now not functional as the function was transferred exclusively to the female. This was the case with the decision to make a distinction between the male and female genders. Before, there were no genders, just self-producing, genderless beings. The decision was opposed by, quote, the jinn, end quote. Those who resisted, refused, opposed this radical change. To transition from genderless to gender requires a radical, fundamental, profound change in the language. There is nothing that could cause such a dramatic change in language then transitioning from genderless to gender. Arabic is of the most, if not the most gender-based, gender-sensitive language on the planet. Arabic was genderless before the establishment of gender. It was this change that is behind the teaching of the creation of the moon as taught by Elijah. It was the Jinn of that time, those opposed to the change, who attempted to destroy those who were supporting and effecting the change, a change that would have also radically changed the language. There was a clear sign left, as the woman in particular is tethered to the moon with her lunar cycles. A clear sign of the connection between the two. Also, the fact that men have non-functioning breasts is a sign that they were once functioning, a function that went with the female at the time of separation. So the entire being was changed, bringing two new beings into creation. The last act of creation is to separate the brown and black germs as Elijah taught. The black germ was personified by Dr. Shabazz 50,000 years ago. The black germ is spatially orientated. The brown germ was personified by Dr. Yaqub 6,000 years ago, created in haste. The brown germ is analytically orientated. In effect, it's the separation and personification of the two sides of the brain. The one, the quote, be, end quote, and the other, the quote, is, end quote. The quote, is, end quote, the analytical side, the brown germ kicked and turned on the quote, be, end quote, the spatial. The devils, man, turned on the angels, Allah. Whenever we bring a new creation into being, after giving it a period time limit to exercise a sense of independence and self-determination, we force it into submission to prove our divinity, dominance, and right to rule. When we separated the genders, there were extremes on both sides. Females who were not attracted to males, we made rid of them. Males who were not attracted to females made rid of them. We then established strict reproductive rules to prevent beings of those predilections from ever coming to be again. It is the devil's disregard for those laws that has caused the outbreak of those kinds with those inclinations. So they must be purged. The Quran reveals that there was no trace of perversion before man. As to the new creation, we have those of the analytical that cannot coexist with the spatial. Make rid of them, and vice versa. The Shia are the new analytical, the fruit of this creation. The quote is, end quote, of the quote be, unquote. The 144,000 analytical fruit of the new Islam, Farad's elect. The quote be, end quote, are the 144,000 lambs elect, the spatial fruit of the new Islam. Prior to 50,000 years ago, there were only the mentally ambidextrous angels, angels whose brains, the spatial/analytical, were equally balanced. Dr. Shabazz gave personification to the spatial mind. Dr. Yaqub gave personification to the analytical mind. Many of the original angels resisted and refused to be a part of either process. These are the Jinn. Jinn means those who resist the creation process. They refused and vowed to subdue, impede, destroy those who were the product of the process. The remnant of the tribe of Shabazz, those who survived the great tumult, will be the be of the is. The Shia will be the is of the be. We will say be, and they will bring it into existence. Each will be brighter and in their perspective personifications separated than when they were combined. The Jinn are all around us. You can easily identify them. They resist change. They want to return to the good old days. Quote, we make everything new, a new heaven and earth. End quote. They cling to superstition, religious dogma. There is no mention of the Jinn in any scripture other than Quran, which underscores that they are not an independent creation, but rather those who resist the creative process. The Sunni Arabs are mostly Jinn. That is why Muhammad said nearly 98% of his ummah is hellbound, 72 out of 73. The angel reveals Sunni Islam as the golden calf. Elijah forbade the Sunni Arabs' entrance to his temples. Ever wonder why? Elijah stated that he would not give 2 cents for the so-called scholarship of the Sunni imams. When you listen to them, they want to drag you back 1400 years to camels, dates, beards, etc. That is the future that they envision, all in the rear view mirror. There is not one Arab Sunni state that is producing anything. They have no technology, no science, in spite of their great wealth. They produce nothing. Yet they attack the West, who they have a love-hate relationship with. They love the conveniences provided by the West, but hate the idea of the West. They terrorize the West with the tools provided by the West. As they/Iblis stated, they will come after Adam/Eve, America and Britain, from every vantage point. The West, Gog and Magog/American Britain, has vowed to come after them from every vantage point. The devils versus the Jinn. Quote, and on that day we shall let some of them surge against others, and the trumpet will be blown, then we shall gather them all together. Let's clear up the, quote, black mud fashioned into shape, end quote, controversy. The Sunni would have you believe that that applies to Adam. Their mislogic fails again. Clearly, Adam, a mortal, could not be made of dust and black mud fashioned into shape both. I would hope that all intelligent, forward thinkers would/could agree on that. The black mud fashioned into shape are the angels, the original people. He didn't say he created him of black mud, then fashioned him into shape. He created Adam from us. He created Adam from our sperm, a blood clot, a life germ. Quote, he created man from a small life germ, and lo, he is an open contender, end quote, which is a way to describe sperm 1400 years ago to people who never knew what sperm was, had ever seen one. So please advise the anointed to get it right. The reference to sounding clay speaks to, quote, and when the word comes to pass against them, we shall bring forth for them a beast from the earth that will speak to them, because people did not believe in our messages, end quote. The sounding clay just underscores that Adam/beast would be a beast that had power of speech. Within this verse is the explanation of the, quote, dust, end quote, from which Adam was said to be made. Adam, who the angel reveals is written with America being Eve, is a creature that was raised up from Europe. Europe is scripturally the earth. The British people are exiles, immigrants, castaways from Europe, and as such are the dust of the earth/Europe. The English language, called a bastard language, is itself an amalgamation of bits of every European language. Thus, there were three groups: the submissive angels called saints, the grafted angels called devils, the new creation, those angels of the previous creation, the resistors of the new creation, the Jinn. Satan, the Jews, are the wisest of the devils, the god of Yaakov's era. The devils turned on the saints. In the process, the devils mixed by force their seed with the saints, which produce demons. Demons are black-faced devils, the appearance of the original egg, but possessing the devil nature of the sperm. Prior to this great tumult, the great 400-year terror, the scriptures reveals that the angels, aka Son of God, original men, sowed their seed among the devils, the daughters of men, Caucasians, devils, which produced a hybrid they call Nephilim, who had the white appearance of the egg but the original nature of the sperm. These are the modern-day Shia, specifically the Iranians and Syrians. Rod, the Nephilim, is their 12th imam.